What's going on, everybody? I'm Jacqueline D'Agostino alongside Leger Douzable, and we're going to go through the Jets 2023-2024 schedule, predicting every single game and see if they can finally end the playoff drought, Leger.
Please. It's been since 2010.
Yeah, we're trying to speak it into existence here for Jets Nation. Starting week one, Aaron Rodgers, a homecoming for him against the 49ers. How does it play out?
A lot of Jet fans probably have PTSD because just last year, opening week of the NFL season, Monday Night Football at MetLife Stadium versus the Buffalo Bills, in just 4 plays, Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles and was done for the season. Now he's playing again on a Monday Night Football to open up the season. This time they're heading out west to the 49ers. I picked the Jets to win this game. I know people will say the 49ers are the favorite to win the Super Bowl right now, and you're being a homer. But when you just look at the history, right, I'm all about what Aaron Rodgers has done versus the 49ers in the regular season. 6-3 versus the 49ers. And when you look at the last 10 Monday Night Football games specifically played by Aaron Rodgers, this game is full of storylines. One that people aren't talking about either, Jacqueline, Robert Saleh. He was there. He was a defensive coordinator. I was there with him in 2017, his first year as defensive coordinator before he became the head coach. Javon Kinlaw, who they signed in free agency, ex-49er, first-round pick. Leonard Floyd, the guy that tackled Aaron Rodgers when he tore his Achilles, when he played at Buffalo, he now plays for the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm taking the Jets to win week 1.
Week 2 against the Titans. What do you have here?
So this game, I actually have the Jets taking an L. I think it's a lot to travel across the country. And I just think it'll be too much to overcome for the Jets. 2 road games back-to-back. One, you go across the country, then you travel to Tennessee. I think Tennessee's gotten significantly better with Calvin Ridley. Will Levis' second year in the offense. They got one of the best offensive line coaches to fix the O-line, and Bill Callahan. Actually have the Jets taking a loss at Tennessee in week 2.
All right, so you have them at 1-1 through 2 weeks. Week 3, they face the Patriots. How does this one play out?
I think the Jets, last year, they finally ended that streak. I think it was 14 straight the Patriots had won, and then they won up in Foxborough. To me, this Jets team is significantly better than the Patriots right now. Right now, we don't even know who's going to start at quarterback for the Patriots. Will it be Jacoby Brissett? Will it be Drake May? They have a lot of overturn on that team. They got a new head coach, right? I think the Jets take care of business, and you talked about it, Jacqueline, a lot of primetime games. They actually play 3 of their first games in 10 days. Short week again, right, Jacqueline? They play on Monday, then a short week versus the Tennessee Titans, and they play another short week versus the New England Patriots, but I think they get it done and win at home.
So Aaron Rodgers, coming off of that Achilles injury, you're coming out the gate there with 3 games that are not back-to-back-to-back, but sort of, right?
Essentially.
How much does that worry you? Because it just adds another level, right, to that worry.
Correct.
For an older, I know, like that's a, maybe shouldn't use that word, quarterback that's coming off of a very serious injury, and then you're, right out the gate, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, Jacqueline, it's not just Aaron Rodgers, right? Look at the offensive linemen. There's 2 starting tackles that are in their mid-30s. So that's a concern for the New York Jets, right? Because of the health of their offensive line has been an issue. 13 different starting offensive linemen. You get continuity when that happens, right? And that's why they were in top 5 and giving up sacks last year as well. So it's not just Aaron Rodgers, right? It's the age of their offensive tackles that's a concern. And then even young guys, the wear and tear on your body, 3 games in 10 days, that's a lot to recover from. So this is going to be a lot to overcome. 3 games in 10 days.
Week 4 against the Broncos. What do you got?
Well, it's interesting, right? Because could Drake May be playing the week before, for the New England Patriots? Now they have a rookie quarterback as well in Bo Nix. So you're essentially maybe playing back-to-back rookies. We know that there was some things said between the Broncos and Sean Payton, and the Jets went up there and took care of business in the Mile High City last year. This time they get the Broncos at home. I think they win and beat up on the rookie quarterback.
Okay, so week 5, this is the London game against the Vikings. Win or loss?
It's a win. And again, could be a rookie quarterback, right? J.J. McCarthy. So you're looking at this stretch, week 3 through 6, Jacqueline. I just think this Jets defense, those 3 weeks, will get after these rookie quarterbacks. As a rookie, you don't know what you don't know. And when the live bullets are flying in game action, it's a lot different than practice situations. So the Jets have a championship-type defense. I know they're traveling all the way to the West Coast. I know they're traveling all the way to London. But I think they get this deal done.
Week 6, we do not have a rookie quarterback.
We don't.
You're going to have Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah. If you look at what Josh Allen has done the last 2 years at MetLife Stadium, right? He's 0-2. The Jets have been able to have his number at MetLife Stadium. Matter of fact, 3 interceptions last year at MetLife Stadium. So the Jets defense comes to life at MetLife. Josh Allen seems to struggle at MetLife. And I can't wait to see this Bills team because it's been a revamped, retooled team, right? Stephon Diggs no longer there. Gabe Davis no longer there. A lot of their defensive stalwarts are no longer on this team. So this team will truly be led by Josh Allen. So it'll be up to him to see if the Bills can have success. I just like looking at history, the Jets having success against the Bills at home at MetLife.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that Bills offense looks because, are they going to be using more tight ends that Josh Allen is throwing to leading into that run game with Joe Brady? We'll have to see. Week 7 against the Steelers. Right now you have, leading up to this game, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row. So a 4-game win streak as they're going in to play Pittsburgh.
And this is another interesting scenario because we don't know essentially who's going to start at quarterback. Will it be Russell Wilson? Will it be Justin Fields? And I think for that point alone, I think the Steelers will struggle this year. So I love what they did in the draft. They really refortified that offensive line. Still think it's going to take time for that offensive line to gel and those young players to become who they're truly going to be in the future. But I think the uncertainty at the quarterback position edges the Jets as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, right?
That's a big caveat.
Exactly. So I got them going to the Steelers and winning, which they were able to do 2 years ago.
Okay, so you have the Jets being the Patriots in Week 3. They get the Patriots again in Week 8. Same outcome here?
Same outcome. I think the Patriots, again, I love what they did in the draft. A lot of youth on that team. They're going to go through their growing pains as they try to build this thing the right way. I just think the Jets, with the veteran leadership, the veteran players they have, I think they're going to outman the New England Patriots at Foxborough, kind of like they did in Week 17 last year.
All right, Week 9, we have C.J. Stroud and the Texans. This is a team that is now a favorite to win the AFC South. Quite the turnaround. How do you see this one playing out in Week 9?
The Houston Texans traveled up to MetLife last year. Now, there was some rain elements to that game, but they beat up C.J. Stroud, and that's the game he actually got hurt in, right, and missed the next week. So I think the Jets at MetLife take care of business versus the Houston Texans. I know C.J. Stroud is probably looking forward to that game because he felt like he didn't play that well and before he got hurt. He played the first 3 quarters, ended up getting hurt, I believe, right in the beginning of the 4th quarter. But I got the Jets at home.
Okay. Week 10, we have the Cardinals, and you have I believe it's 8 games, 8 straight wins for the Jets.
Is it 8?
This one, I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Is it 7?
6, 7. My bad. 7. Okay. The Cardinals.
Yeah.
What happens here?
So West Coast trip, the Cardinals play extremely hard. Shout out to Jonathan Gannon, the head coach there. They were talent deficient last year, and still they gave everybody everything they were looking for. You would think another year in that system, they'd be significantly better. Really love what they did in the draft. I think the Cardinals are going to be really good next year. Okay. But I actually have them winning this game because of the travel on the West Coast. There's just something about sometimes maybe overlooking teams you're not supposed to. This could be a game the Jets mess around and overlook, and I think Kyler Murray and the Cardinals beat the Jets at home.
All right, so Week 11, we have the Colts, and in theory, it would be a healthy Aaron Rodgers versus a healthy Anthony Richardson, which would be a really great matchup. How does Week 11 go down for the Jets?
I got the Jets winning this game. To me, you talked about it, Anthony Richardson missed a good portion of last year, only played in 4 games, and then even in those 4 games, he got banged up in a couple of them, right? So Jacqueline, this is essentially a rookie year for him because he missed all of last season as well. Now, I love what Shane Steichen did for that team last year. I don't think anybody had them being in playoff contention in Week 18. Matter of fact, if they had won at home versus the Texans, they would have won the division last year. So people would assume that they would take another step, but I think they're going to actually have a regression. I think that division's a lot better this year. And if I'm not mistaken, I also think they play the AFC North, which is the toughest division in all of football. I have the Jets right before the bye winning that game at home.
Week 12 is the bye week. Coming off of the bye, they face the Seahawks in Week 13.
Seahawks traveling all the way from the West Coast at home. The Jets will be coming off a bye, well rested. The Jets have done really well coming off the bye. They won last year, if I'm not mistaken, versus the New York Giants coming off the bye at home in MetLife. I like the Jets to win this game at home. Okay,
and then we're getting into a pretty tough stretch here.
This is where it gets real.
Yeah, Week 14 through Week 18 here, and it starts with the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. How do you see this going down?
I mean, at prelude, they'll be playing 2 teams in Florida the next back-to-back week. So you talk about then going down to Miami, where it's probably going to be 75 and muggy, right? They're playing their Dolphins.
Or 85, you never
exactly.
know.
You just never know down here in Florida. So I have the Dolphins winning this game at home.
They head to Miami to play the Dolphins and then go up north to Florida and Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. You have the Jaguars winning this.
I do. I know you're smiling and grinning over there. You Jaguar fan. Again, playing in the South, traveling. It'll be interesting too to see do the New York Jets, because it's on the East Coast, do they travel back home or do they stay in Florida for the week, try to acclimate to the weather and stay? That'll be something to keep an eye on. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars at home, I love what they did with getting Gabe Davis and also Brian Thomas in the draft. Really will help build an explosive offense with Christian Kirk at the wide receiver position. I think the Jaguars do win this game at home.
Yeah, speaking of Trevor Lawrence, he is connected to this Week 16 matchup against
the
Rams on CBS in a roundabout way, because the Jets and the Rams last met in 2020, and the Jets won that game. Cost them to miss out on Trevor Lawrence, that number one overall pick, and then they get Zach Wilson, and we all know what happens after that. But back to Week 16 on CBS against the Rams. Do the Jets win it?
I think they do win it. Again, a team coming from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. Very familiar with Sean McVay and that tree, all from the Shanahan tree. It's the same thing for the New York Jets. Robert Saleh was in San Francisco. Nathaniel Hackett was with LaFleur. So all kind of come from that tree. I think the Jets take care of business at home, even though this will be a really tight game. I really love what the Rams have done. I think this will be a close one, but I think the Jets edge out the Rams at home.
Okay, so let's get to the final two games in this tough stretch with the divisional rivals, starting with the Bills once again, Week 17.
Yeah. I got this as a loss for the Jets. And if you just look at the history of the Bills and Jets, we talked about it earlier where Josh Allen has struggled at MetLife. Well, the Jets have struggled out there in Buffalo, right? Playing Josh Allen at home with the Bills Mafia. So I think this is a Jets team that loses at the Bills late in the season at Week 17. Division games are always hardest. This will be a game. Would not even be surprised if this game ends up being a primetime game, depending on how both teams play throughout the year.
And then Week 18 hosting the Dolphins, and you have this one as a win for the Jets.
All you got to do is look at the history of the Miami Dolphins, more specifically Tua Tagovailoa in cold games.
It's not good.
It's not really good. So temperatures probably will be in the 30s, right? Maybe even lower. I have the Jets winning that game in MetLife.
And if this Jets team is a playoff team, we know Tua and his history against good teams as well. Something to prove there as well. Overall, you have the Jets going 12-5.
I do.
Winning the division.
I do.
And making the playoffs and ending the playoff drought.
Ending the playoff drought. I just think this is the team. A lot of people, like you said, last year were on the Jets hype train because Aaron Rodgers was there. But this team got even better. And when you talk about getting a closer like Hassan Reddick, I don't think anybody really saw that happening. I really love what this Jets team has done. Again, it all depends on can Aaron Rodgers stay healthy. Even if something were, and we're praying nothing happens to Aaron Rodgers, I think Tyrod Taylor can steer the ship to make sure this team goes to the playoffs.
All right, so if that O-line can protect Aaron Rodgers and he stays healthy, which he will, because we're going to speak it into existence. Yes, all the good vibes. Leger has the Jets going 12-5, winning the division and making the playoffs.